A question was asked the other day from one of my Facebook groups. If you want to know more about my Facebook groups, you can go and see the closed one called Optimized Life. And a question was asked, and here it is. My mother is always finding fault with me, with my life, my relationship, my husband, my kids, and my career. It's always been like this. I've put up with it and done my best to avoid her. I can't stand another conversation. What can I do? Well, my goodness, it's obviously been going on for a long time. If you've had a life, a relationship, a husband, kids, and a career, and you're still putting up with it. So I'm really welcoming you to waking up to the fact that you deserve to have a different relationship with your mother. If she is always finding fault with you and you don't believe that that fault is actually warranted in any way or warranted any more than it is in any normal relationship, then you may be onto something. Your mom may have a personality that is simply geared to finding fault, needing someone to blame, or needing to win. You know, she has to be right. She's got to be in control. She has to be the one who knows. She's the one who makes the decision. She tells you who you are. Now, that's a big deal. Does that strike you at all? Does your mother try to tell you who you are? Like I had a mom like that, and my mom would say, well, you're not that kind of a person. And I'll go, hey, I'm growing here. I'm changing. I'm trying things on. I'm working things out. How dare you tell me I'm not that kind of a person? So I was pretty much in her face most of my life. And I didn't really know what was going on because, of course, I was a teenager. I was in my early 20s. And I didn't understand. And maybe you didn't either. So you just thought you got a difficult mom or a mom that's just like, oh my goodness, here she comes again. Or you'll never guess what my mother says to me. And all those things are true. That's what happens when you have a mom who has hijackal tendencies. And remember, hijackals are those people who hijack relationships for their own purposes. They want to be right. They want to win. They want to find fault. They need power over you. And so they hijack those relationships for their own purposes, and then over and over they scavenge them for power and status and control in every moment. Like sometimes I'm sure you've had the experience where you and your mom were almost having a civil conversation, an interesting conversation where you got sucked into believing that she cared, and it seemed that she did, and maybe she was really trying to, but she didn't know how to do that. So quite quickly after that, she turned the conversation in a direction where she could win. And that kind of thing happens. So you're asking a really important question because when you know better, you'll do better. And if you have a person, a mother like you do, but also any person in your life who is constantly looking to have power over you, then you are going to be in a relationship deficit all the time. You're going to feel less than. You're going to feel put down, demeaned, degraded, discounted. You know, these are the people who will, if it's a friend, they'll make a date with you for lunch or something. You will confirm it. Everything will be great. And then 20 minutes before they say, oh, you don't mind, do you? I've got to go and do this. I'll see you another day. These are things that happen when people don't value you. But they only happen because as an adult, you now enable them to happen. And it's just a case of learning to see it differently and to try some strategies to see whether or not you can equalize the relationship. Sometimes it's an old habit and you can equalize the relationship. Sometimes if you're with a hijackal, that relationship will seldom be ever equalized because the hijackal has the need to have power over and to win. So a very important thing to discuss and discover, you say that you can't stand another conversation. What can I do? Well, first, do your own work. You know, from listening to my shows and listening to segments on iTunes, I am always going to tell someone to do their own work first. And that's not because of any reason other than if you want things to be different, you have to know deep within you how things really are, and you need help with that. It's very hard because it's an old pattern. It's been going on for a long time. You're used to it. So it's very difficult to break out of that alone. So you do need to get some help. That's a really important thing to do so that you can get a perspective. Like when I work with my clients all over the world through Zoom video, sometimes when I say to them, well, tell me about this, and they tell me the story in a new way, and they go, oh my goodness, yes, that's the way she or he has always been, and they haven't quite seen it that way. So someone like me can ask you the questions that will help you understand what's going on. So you say, I can't stand another conversation. What do? You do your own work. You get some help. You say, wow, when I really examine this, I've been putting up with this for a long, long, long time. I've had resentment for a long, long, long time. She's ground me into the dirt. She's always had to tell me that I'm less than or not as important or some way in order to make herself important. And I don't want that anymore. And when you do your own work, you will find out that you don't want that anymore. But in some deep way, because she's your mom, she's told you who you are all these years and you've believed it. Now you've got to get a new story. So you need that kind of help. And then once you get to do your own work and you decide what's important to you and how you feel valued and how you feel loved, and notice how you don't have any trust in the relationship, those are all terrible things to have in a primary relationship. No trust, no respect, no ability to believe in fairness or justice. Those things will never work out. And it doesn't matter that she's your mother. She shouldn't be behaving like that. That's just bad behavior. It's thoughtless behavior. It's unconscious behavior. But she doesn't know any different. Somewhere with the way she was raised, it got this way for her. She doesn't know another way. That's really hard to understand. I'm not suggesting that you dismiss her behavior and just feel sorry for her. I'm just saying understand it. She doesn't know another way, and she can't hear another way, and especially can't hear another way from you. But what you need to do after you get some help is to put some firm boundaries in place. If you speak to me that way, I will leave. And leave. You need to be able to set some boundaries. You need to be able to clearly express what you want and what you don't want and what you'll do about it if it happens again. And then when you do that, you get to see what she does. And then my big advice to you is when you see what she does, believe her behavior. Don't make excuses for it. Don't justify it. Don't rationalize it. There's a tendency to do that because you've done that since well before your brain was fully developed as a small child, and that won't help you. So get some help, set and express some strong boundaries, observe the behaviors. If things can change, they will change at that point. It won't be quick. You'll have to do it for several months. And then if that doesn't work, it's time to only see her in controlled circumstances on high days and holidays. So much to learn once you realize that you've been with a hijackal, whether that's your mother, your partner, your ex, and your coworker, whomever it is. You need to recover from that, and I'm here to help you with it. I'm Dr. Rhoberta Shaler, the Relationship Help Doctor. You'll find me at 4relationshiphelp.com. Let's talk soon. And if you have a question, you can submit it at 4relationshiphelp.com/submit. And I'll answer your question on air one day. Talk soon.